So a nice relaxing evening practice. However your day has been, whether you've been busy or had quite an easygoing one, it's always lovely to end your day with some mindfulness and some stretch on your mat. So just start lying down or seated, whatever you prefer. And take a moment just to really settle. Coming to the breath. Nice deep inhalation. And maybe a sigh on the exhale, and just letting go of even more tension. Sometimes even when we've had a very relaxing day, we can still hold sort of historic and just tension that we're so used to in the body that we, unless we really look for it, it just, it's kind of what we get used to and it's always there. So having this sort of time to be conscious, tuning in to what you're holding through the neck and the upper back, shoulders, often a place where energy gets locked, as well as hips. So with every out breath, just letting go. Even mentally, this can be a nice way to just let go mentally, coming into the moment. And just being present with everything that you feel, allowing all of it. So have a moment also to send your energy roots down into the earth. Connect with Mother Earth. And we're in this waning phase of the lunar cycle. I think we're approaching a new moon in the next day or so, where we just release, let go. We can have a moment just to scan through our chakras, just while we have this time before we begin. Checking in with your root energy at the base of your spine and how it feels around the lower belly, at the sacral and your lower spine, the lower back. And noticing your solar plexus above your navel, linked with confidence, and that area of the mid-back, heart center, anahata. So the center of the chest linking with the arms and the upper part of our back. And then throat, Vishuddhi, lovely pale blue there. Checking in how we're talking to ourselves and how we're talking outwardly. And our third eye, Ajna, that intuition center. And the crown, Sahasrara. The lovely violet or white that we may tune into here. And it only takes a few moments just to kind of glance inwardly at these energy centers within, noticing physically whether there's any tension there as well, indicating whether there could be slight imbalance, or whether we're feeling quite strong in these areas as well. So if you're lying down, have a few moments just to take a breath and then hug the knees in. We'll come up for seated zazen and some quiet meditation. Take your time, there's no rush, just have a few moments to come onto a meditation cushion or settle into whatever seat that feels right for you. And then we're going to relax. Quite often we'll do a mantra or counting, but this evening I think we'll just literally sit with ourselves, not even follow the breath. If that comes into your practice, that's absolutely fine because we're quite used to that. But I think we're just going to sit with our silence and sit Are we comfortable with that silence? Can we sort of sit and be patient and tolerant with ourselves? So literally the mind will wander and we can watch the thoughts and draw back to a consciousness, but literally just sitting quietly and seeing what happens. So just rest the hands, relax your face and body, and we're just going to go quiet. Keep relaxing your body. And just observing your mind. Staying present. Just as we come into a few more breaths, notice how that whole 5 minutes has felt. Whether you feel like you've dropped through the layers into a kind of a deeper presence and a deeper meditation. And often if you wanted to do this in your own time, take 5 minutes, take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you can have these timers that have a little bell that alerts you, so you don't have to keep looking at a watch or a clock. And just let yourself go with the flow of dropping into the layers of meditation. So how did that feel for you? Was the mind busy? Were you quite quiet in the mind eventually? Did the body start to really flop and sink, or were you still aware and present? So all these things just to sort of think about after your practice. So we're going to come into our first pose, which will be seal, a nice gentle back bend. A lot of us do have issues with lower back, so take it easy this evening. We're going to come onto the belly, and if you want to just come into this kind of nice seal sphinx pose, you can have a pillow underneath the tummy if you want to, or just the chest. I quite like to do that sometimes, and a block may be handy to start by resting your head. The more we can support the body and not have to use any muscular engagement, the better. Gives us that real sense of softening and relaxing. So if you need to take the arms out a little bit wider to lower the body because of the lumbar spine, please do. Just find wherever this is comfortable for you. So it takes a few moments just to settle into this pose and start to relax the legs. You might find that the heels rotate inwards, really relaxing. Any tension that you're holding in the front of the body or that lower back, just see if you can gently let go, soften the buttocks. And nice deep belly breaths. Feeling the breath into the belly and the chest. And as everything starts to just stretch and give way, notice if you can relax the shoulders and neck. How does this pose feel for you? Notice any emotions that come up. And this is a wonderful pose for your bladder channel, and also quite stimulating for the stomach. Where is your stretch on the threshold this evening? Are you coming into this on quite an easy level? Or really pushing into the stretch? How does it feel to breathe into that lower back? When you're in these poses, noticing any inspiration that drops into the mind or colours that you see in your mind's eye. What divine downloads are we possibly receiving? So we'll take one more breath here and gently lifting our heads and pulling ourselves up. Let's just come into nice neutral pose. Take your time, try and savour the feeling as you come out of it, because that really is quite an intense one for the lower spine, although after a few minutes everything does start softening. It is an area that a lot of people do find a little bit tender. So relax. Enjoy that lovely relief, straightening out the spine, let everything realign and just click back into place, essentially. And deep breaths. How do you feel? What do you feel? Where do you feel it? Does it feel good? Does it feel quite nourishing in your body? And even as you lie here, just notice if there's any little bits of tension in the back. Just keep releasing. And then when you're ready, let's hug our knees in. Have a little moment. Massage the spine. And so just a counter pose, we're going to come up for caterpillar. Again, being really gentle with this practice. Nice evening practice. And if you want something underneath your knees, like a little rolled blanket to soften this pose, you can. Otherwise, just sort of connecting with your sit bones to the mat and coming forwards. And let's just see how it feels for the spine to come this way. Again, the legs may rotate outwards. Whatever your body and your skeletal system does to relax. As we begin to soften here, it takes a few moments to find the pose. Let's soften into the head and neck and definitely the shoulders and upper back. And just tuning into your body. What's it telling you? Where is it still holding tension? As we allow the upper arms to soften, it might mean releasing a bit more through your shoulders. Noticing if the breath has become shallow, and whether you can still direct the breath to the belly and chest. And as you breathe deeply, you might notice that your body lifts a little, the head lifts in a very natural way as you breathe. And on the exhale, there is a softening and a surrender into this. Can you have that feeling of really noticing where this stretch, where you're feeling this stretch in the whole back of the body? And it may well be the whole back, or it could just be that it's mostly in the upper back or lower spine. Where is the stretch developing? And notice if there's any little room for moving more into the pose and relaxing again. Keep releasing the shoulders and upper back. And deep belly breaths. Noticing how it makes us feel to be in this pose. What are our predominant thoughts? So gently, let's take one more breath. Slowly lifting up, feeling what it feels through the head and neck. And then just slowly coming back down to the mat, enjoying what you feel, connecting with all our wonderful parts of our body. I'm always curious after those types of poses, one where we've taken the body backwards and then one where we've taken the body forwards, as to what feels better perhaps during the pose and then also after the pose. Sometimes I feel the bend backwards, like in seal, actually relieves the spine a little bit more afterwards. So just take that curiosity inwards as well. What serves the spine better? And each day, each time, may be a very different thing. And enjoying some deep belly breaths here. As we breathe deeply, we charge our prana, our chi, in our solar plexus, like our little internal rechargeable battery. So when you're ready, let's draw our knees in again. Take your time, have a little hug, and rock and roll on the back in whatever way that's needed. And so the next pose we're going to come into is owl. And you may or may not want a block for this one. This is something that I do use a block for. So this is a deep squat. And it's not one I find particularly easy. But it's always worth keep trying these things. So I'm going to take a block and kind of sit on it. And I have a second block here just to sort of balance initially. For some people who have a real lovely flexibility in the ankle, they may well be able to have their feet very flat on the floor in this squat, but it's not something that I can do very easily. So I'm going to take a block and just support, and then if you want another block just to use in front or your hands, that's absolutely fine. And we can come into a nice kind of prayer position here. We're not going to hold this one too long because it is quite intense. As I say, some people can really easily sit like this, but I can't. I don't get the bend through the ankles. My skeletal system just won't allow. If you don't want to have your hands here, then by all means just have them resting on the floor. This is a pose for liver and kidneys. Very much working on those meridians, and also the urinary bladder that runs through our back. For those of you that can get into this pose comfortably, it's a really lovely lower back stretch. So whatever pose you've come into like this, you can, if you want to try and relax a little bit more, relaxing whatever you're finding tense. And deep breaths. Relaxing your calf muscles. Lovely long stretch through the back. And so we'll take a couple of breaths. Just coming into that pose for about 2.5 minutes, about half of the time. And gently coming out. It's dearly a pose I'd love to be able to do, but just one that my body doesn't want to. There will always be poses like that for different people. Just depends what way their body wants to move and bend. And just taking a few deep breaths, feeling the lovely sensation that you may possibly be getting in the soles of the feet. Quite deep stimulation around the ankles. Lovely stretch on the knees. And certainly if you can come into a lovely squat then through the length of the back. Nice deep breaths. Great pose for the hips, working with our sacral energy of the body. And being really low to the earth as well, so root chakra. So noticing just for a few more moments any warmth or coolness around the feet and legs, that chi shifting. And then we'll draw our knees in. Bring in the right, then left. And so next we're going to come into heart bench. So using 2 blocks. So 1 block resting to rest the head, and a long block that's going to align along our spine for our back. And when you're ready, just lowering yourself down. This always feels a little bit strange and awkward to start with. The block is ideally going to go behind the heart center, and then just coming down. If you need to move it a few times just to become a little bit more comfortable, then that's fine. It will feel strange initially. It does soften and the whole body does get used to this. Take a few breaths. Feeling perhaps that kind of hardness against the back initially, but just letting your shoulders kind of fall away. Great stretch for the front of the chest. And so often we're very hunched over and the shoulders curl forward. So taking the shoulders backwards just kind of gives the body a stretch in the opposite direction. A lovely heart opener, and also works with our throat center. So if you want to close your eyes and just open up the heart to anything that we find challenging or difficult, this encourages a nice softness and healing. So relaxing arms and face and neck. Let your chin tuck in if that's what naturally happens when you soften your neck. And awareness on your breath. Feeling the body softening now against the block. Notice what feelings come up for you. Maybe it's a thought or a feeling that you've not thought of for a while and it's just dropped through. And just allow it some space here and give it some time. Nice deep breaths. And just inviting in some self-love and compassion for yourself. having a nice balance between giving and receiving love, knowing we deserve to be loved and to love others. Is there anything else you can relax? Just keep looking and scanning through every now and then to find something else that's tensed and needs relaxing. Softening your face and eyes. Enjoying the breath to your belly. So we'll take one more breath. And gently coming up. And just popping the blocks aside. Come back down onto your mat. And relax. Deep breaths. Noticing how you feel. What you feel and where you feel it. So when you're ready, just bring the knees into chest. Have a little rock. And we'll come up to seated. We're going to come into cat's tail. So just finishing with a twist, a gentle twist each side. So come to lie on your right hand side. Draw your left knee up and over so that the knee is in a nice alignment with the hip. And then if you can, grab your foot. Great. If not, don't worry, or you can use a strap. And then we're just I like to use my hand just to cradle my head, or you can use a cushion, and gently just start to roll back into a very kind of soft twist. And just softening gently here. Taking some nice deep breaths. Allowing your head to relax. Feeling that gentle stretch on the quad muscle of your right leg. And just breathing into this, noticing where it feels to move the breath in the body. Relaxing thighs, relaxing around the knees. Really lovely pose for your gallbladder energy and our solar plexus area, our chakra. Great for digestion and our nervous system. Nice deep breaths. Keep letting everything soften with this pose. And you might find that you want to twist a little bit more. It gets easier to twist. So just notice where your body wants to move this evening. Enjoy how your breath moves through your body. What muscles you feel as the breath moves. And so we'll take another breath or two. Ever so slowly, just release the foot you're holding. Roll upwards. And just take your time to come onto your back. Nice and slowly. After any kind of twist, it's always good to just realign for a moment. Take a few deep breaths. And tune in. What do you feel and where do you feel it? Is there a nice relief through your spine that you're feeling? Noticing the difference between left and right sides of the body, all these subtle differences. And we'll take a few more breaths just as we lie here and draw the knees in again, just to roll on the back a few times. And then gently just coming over to the other side, and we'll do exactly the same. So lying on your left, extend the left arm out, bring the right knee over. And then you can take hold of your foot if you wish and rest the head either on a little pillow if you have one handy, or always have one nearby, or using your hand. Just work your way into this gentle twist as we roll our right shoulder backwards. You might find it feels very different from one side to the other. So just listening to where your body wants to go. It may not be the same. Tuning into that lower back. And deep breaths. Try and relax your lower back and buttocks. You might find that they initially feel a bit tense. Relaxing into your shoulders. And again, tuning into the breath. Where the breath goes, where you feel it move. And taking your observation to all areas of the body. Witnessing your thoughts and tuning into that inner dialogue. Trying to relax buttocks and lower back. Even the left leg and foot that you're holding, notice if there's tension there. Notice how you feel in this pose, whether it's a welcoming position, whether it is you're enjoying the stretch in some part of the body. Looking for tension in the neck and your face. Keep relaxing just a little bit more. And then ever so gently, we'll take a breath and really slowly coming out of this pose, release the foot, gently roll onto your back. And relax. Enjoy a deep breath. And have a real awareness of what you're feeling, what you're thinking, how you're feeling emotionally. And just gently breathing, enjoying this really calm nervous system. Feeling quite peaceful. And gently, when you're ready, let's hug our knees in. So choosing whether you want to come to seated or remain lying down, perhaps pulling a blanket over. Just coming into relaxation now. Listening to what your body wants this evening. Take your time to relax. Let's see what angel card we're going to be given this evening. It's always nice just to tune into a little bit of guidance and wisdom that we may need. If you have a question or a thought in your mind, maybe just draw it to the forefront and we'll see what we're going to be offered. Archangel Michael. So I shall read this to you, whatever comes up for us. So as you relax, softening your body to the mat or where you're seated. Archangel Michael, I am with you, giving you the courage to make life changes that will help you work on your divine life purpose. I have come to you because you have asked God for security and protection, and because you asked about your life purpose. Since you are a light worker, I am overseeing the fruition of your divine life purpose. You have been a light worker for a long time, and you have felt different from others, isolated at times. Be assured that you have never been alone and that you never will be alone. When you feel pushed to make a change at work or at home, that may be my influence encouraging you to make your life's purpose a high priority. I can rearrange your schedule and support you in other ways to make your path smooth and harmonious. Simply ask me, and it is done. I will also help you feel safe and comfortable during your life's changes. What a lovely positive card for us. We just have to ask. So just taking some time now just to relax and tune into whether you do need any shifts in schedule or downtime in order to pursue something that might be important to you. So just taking a few breaths now and coming back. Noticing how you feel. Hopefully nice and calm and peaceful and contented within. Taking a few deep breaths and perhaps beginning to move some fingers and toes, rolling the head side to side. And if those of you lying down just want to hug your knees into your chest, there's no rush, just take a few moments to rock and massage your spine. And in your own time, gradually coming up to seated. Have a few moments just to settle and ground your energies down again. And when you're ready, drawing your hands to your heart center. Om Shanti. Namaste.